We were a people once. The clans spread throughout the mountains, forests, and plains. We had families. We loved. We cared. But then the shadow came and took it all away. One by one, our menfolk fell to the shadow's thrall. There is no way to save them. Once they fall, they march against us. Our husbands, our fathers, our brothers, our sons, lovers, friends. We have been betrayed. They all strive to take us. What comfort can we find? None this tide. Save we will fight. We shall not fall. Not this tide. We were a people once. The clans spread throughout the mountains, forests, and plains. We had families. We loved. We cared. But then the shadow came and took it all away. One by one, our menfolk fell to the shadow's thrall. There is no way to save them. Once they fall, they march against us. Our husbands, our fathers, our brothers, our sons, lovers, friends. We have been betrayed. They all strive to take us. What comfort can we find? None this tide. Save we will fight. We shall not fall. Not this tide. We were a people once. The clans spread throughout the mountains, forests, and plains. We had families. We loved. We cared. But then the shadow came and took it all away. One by one, our menfolk fell to the shadow's thrall. There is no way to save them. Once they fall, they march against us. Our husbands, our fathers, our brothers, our sons, lovers, friends. We have been betrayed. They all strive to take us. What comfort can we find? None this tide, save we will fight. We shall not fall, not this tide. We were a people once. The clans spread throughout the mountains, forests, and plains. We had families. We loved. We cared. But then the shadow came and took it all away. One by one, our menfolk fell to the shadow's thrall. There is no way to save them. Once they fall, they march against us. Our husbands, our fathers, our brothers, our sons, lovers, friends. We have been betrayed. They all strive to take us. What comfort can we find? None this tide, save we will fight. We shall not fall, not this tide.
Hi! Welcome to The Watch. But not this tide. This is our finale. And I'm sorry we don't have web captioning today. We had some technical difficulties, but that's okay. We're here now. And hello. I'm pretty excited about this. No one else is?
Very excited.
I am super excited.
Very excited.
Okay. And Amra is just laughing about how their neck looks censored, which is great. Okay, so Rumo. Hello.
It's me. Hi.
How were you spending the day? Your friends, they up and went, form a mission. How do you start your mornings?
Generally, I wake up at a not too early but not too late time, and I perform some stretches, maybe some calisthenics. But if I'm waking up to an empty bunker, I am a little distraught.
Yeah, you know, there's one other soldier snoring away in there, but you don't really know them. And it's
What did I miss? Oh geez. Did I forget what I was supposed to? Oh no.
Yeah.
They need me, right? I think they need me, or maybe they don't need me, and that's why they left without me. Oh crap! What should I do? What can I? Oh, maybe I will go talk to the person in charge. She was kind of mean. I could do it. I can go talk to the mean, strong lady.
All right, so you head to Captain Malene.
Yes.
Her door, or their door, is open, and you see them. They're standing with their back to the door. Their hands are on the desk, and they're leaning over it. They're poring over a map.
Naturally. I will, if the door is ajar, I will knock.
Yes. She
sorry
does.
to bother
They
you.
don't look up.
Okay. I know you're busy, Captain, but it would appear my squad has left and I am unsure of where they are. Did you?
They went on a mission.
Naturally, I'm sure that's the case, but maybe I should also be of use.
You can be of use here. See Sergeant North. Dismissed.
Okay. Yes, yes. They said Sergeant North or South. I don't remember. I think North. Yeah, I'll skitter through the hallways. I imagine the sergeant's room is close.
Yeah, the sergeant has another office that they share with a bunch of other people. It's kind of like off down the hall, and it's you thought the captain's office was tiny. This is pretty tiny, and there's like 4 people sharing it, and they're pretty much just all sitting right next to each other. There's like no room. And you see Sergeant North, who is talking to the quartermaster about supplies for the incoming recruits.
How opportune. You are talking about supplies, and I'm here to supply you with aid.
Yeah. You're on the roster. Take a look at the schedule. It's posted up in the mess hall.
Okay, this has been a fun journey. Okay, bye. Mess hall. Maybe I'll grab some breakfast and be less stressed.
Yeah, so you see, you actually have midday guard duty up on the ramparts. The northwest wall.
I would have preferred northeast, but I guess midday it's fine. Yeah, fine. Guard duty. That's useful. I could be of use. I can guard real well. I can see real far. I'm sure this will be fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it is the morning after your little escapade out by the waterfall. It's, you're packing up, you're having your breakfast, you're getting ready for your day's march back to Fort Pride. How's that going for all of you? Well, you know what, Remy, how are you feeling?
Remy is doing better, but she's still a little, like, not necessarily unsure of herself, but she's not quite back on even footing yet.
Mm-hmm.
So she's she's quieter than usual, which is pretty impressive because she's a fairly quiet person because she speaks when she needs to. But she seems much more withdrawn than she previously had.
Okay. Is there any kind of feelings of guilt or
Yeah, she feels guilty for hurting Hadia, but at the same time she probably feels more guilt and a little bit of like shame at her own actions and herself for letting that happen. So it's a lot more inward than anything else.
Rivka, you had some pretty strong feelings last time. How are you feeling now?
Probably more cautious. A bit wary still. Certainly keeping the good eye on Remy and even Hadia.
Tizo?
I'm ready to go back.
You're done with it?
I'm tired.
Yeah, you're tired. Okay.
Yeah, but I think I'm I'm probably also keeping an eye on Remy, like sort of, not super much because I know that Rivka is, and then I'm also keeping an eye out for Rivka because she's old, and she gets tired too.
Hadja?
So I think Hadia is a bit worried in that while they might not know a lot of the specifics, they probably feel some of the tension that's going around their little group
Mm-hmm.
because they try to keep an eye out. And I think they want to resolve that before it leads to something worse than what's already happened. And they're just kind of ignoring their own stuff. It's fine. Their stuff will sort out.
Yeah. This is why you're the corporal. You got to look out for everyone else. So, what are you up to, Hadja?
Are we on the move yet, or is this like before?
This is before.
So I think Hadia has again found a tree and settled down by it. And is currently sharpening her spear. But before she did that, she just gave a heads up to the group of like, we should have chats either before we head out or on the road.
Okay. Who is ready for a chat?
I'll chat.
Okay,
I will.
Tizo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go chat with the corporal. So you're sitting there, and I approach from this like diagonally, the least confrontational way, and I guess I sit down beside you. Yeah, I do that.
So if you don't say anything for a couple seconds, Hadia will eventually speak up. Go. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm kind of tired, but I'm all right.
Yeah, there's a lot that's been going on recently.
Yeah. How is your shoulder?
Healing. Remy did a good job patching it up, but it's a shoulder. It's gonna take its time.
No infections? You don't have a fever?
Not so far, but thank you for asking. I appreciate it.
So what happened?
What do you mean?
Were you taken over by the shadow, or was Remy taken over by the shadow?
As far as I know, I haven't been, but all I know is I woke up with an arrow in my shoulder, and everything that happened after you saw.
Oh, okay. So I'm not questioning your authority, but why did you have a fist fight?
Hadia laughs. First of all, definitely feel free to ask me questions about things I do whenever you want. That if I can't explain why I did a thing, then what kind of leader am I? But let me ask you a question first. How do you think we win this? How do you think we beat the shadow?
By killing shadow monsters.
So we do that. We kill every single shadow held and we win. What happens when
Yeah.
the shadow comes back again? Who are the shadow held that we kill?
I don't understand your question.
Where did the shadow held come from?
Oh. Wait. So let me get this right. So you're saying that we shouldn't kill anyone who's been taken over by the shadow because they used to be people?
No. I'm saying that if they're gone, they're gone. But if our only weapon in this fight is just swords and bows and killing the shadow held, then we're just going to keep killing our own people eventually. And there will be no one left to kill or to beat shadow. We can't beat the shadow just with weapons. Look how well that's gone for us so far. We're here because of it. Weapons are needed to keep us safe and to stop those who have already fallen from hurting us more. But if all we are using are weapons, then we will lose.
Okay, but you were still fighting though. You're just not like I don't understand. I don't understand the logic that like but so why were you punching each other? Is it just so we can enact the same thing but without killing each other? Like I don't.
Remy, the shadow got in on Remy because Remy was feeling anger. I gave her a way to vent that anger in a more productive way than what the shadow would ask. And now both of us are alive and able to continue on because of it.
Oh. I guess that makes sense.
I know it might not be what a conventional commander might do, but I'm not really coming from a conventional background, I guess.
I see.
How are you feeling?
Tired?
Good.
I'm not angry. I don't need to punch you.
I mean,
or you punch me.
If you want to, I'm not gonna say no, but
What? No, I'm okay. Thank you. I mean, I understand what you mean now. No, thank you. I'm okay.
All right. Well, you can go finish up your preparations before heading out, and if you need an extra nap, I won't tell anyone.
All right. I stand up and I walk away. I'm so confused.
All right. So upon seeing Tizo and Hadya speaking, and then Tizo just looking very confused and walking away, does anyone else take that opportunity to approach the corporal?
I can.
Okay.
If Hadya would like to have a little chat.
Yes.
I guess seeing Tizo kind of stroll away, oddly enough, looking confused. I mean, this child typically seems to have a good head on her shoulder, but I don't know what Hadya said, and I'm kind of a nosy old lady, so I'm gonna go over to Hadya and just kind of do a little wave to you. Good morning, Hadya. How are you feeling today?
probably ready to let the shoulder rest some. How are you?
I'm feeling spry.
Must be a new one.
In fairness, it's been quite a while since I've felt energetic, but usually when I have this sense of energy, it is because there's something else out there that is calling for me. And I think it truly is calling for you. Do you have give me a piece of jewelry, a trinket, something of importance? Small,
Okay.
though.
Hadia pulls out a coin, and on it is engraved a falcon, and hands it over to you.
Okay, I cup it in both of my hands, and I kind of reach into one of my pouches and pull out several other little kind of trinkets. It's maybe a button, probably like a tooth, couple bones, animal creatures, other creatures, who knows? It's probably there. Maybe like a little stone, and just kind of drop the coin in my hand as well, and I give it a little rattle, and I just drop it all on the ground, and let it scatter wherever it wants to go. And in doing so, I'm going to enact Read the Bones, which is my move. And it allows me to somewhat tell somebody's fortune, to pierce through the spiritual realm, so to speak. And I would like to see what lies ahead for Hadia.
All right. How does this work?
This works. When you divine someone's fortune for them, roll with luck. On a hit, the MC will tell you something the character should know that they don't already. On a success, if you're honest with them about the divination, take one camaraderie with them. If you lie about it, take one forward against them. On a 7 to 9, the spirits force your hand and you must speak truthfully. On a miss, you speak truthfully, but they don't believe you. And you lose one camaraderie with that character, or mark jaded.
All right.
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
already what I have to say. So roll them bones.
8.
Ooh.
Okay. So are you going to tell them the truth or not? Or would you like to hear what it is first?
I actually believe I have to tell them the truth. I did not score higher.
Do, because it's okay. So the spirits are forcing your hand here. So what does this look like? What is it like to have the spirits talk to you?
I believe for Hadia, she kind of just stands and hovers over the scattered remnants, which are going to take so long to pick up. Sometimes they kind of roll off to, down the side. It depends on the area, but, that's afterwards. The cleanup, always a mess. But she will actually, I will remove my spectacles, but she'll pull aside her hair, which is covering her eye. And most people assume, especially with the jokes, that her eye is not there. But it is. It is shriveled, dark, almost like a raisin. It is gruesome looking, and the eye is almost puckered, terribly disfiguring and disgusting by all other standards. However, it was her sacrifice in order to pierce through the veil and to see what is beyond. And that is a sacrifice well worth it. So she stares down with this eye, and to her, it is like staring deep into a bright light. Like you stare up into the sun, and it's almost blinding until she is hit with the visions of each item, which she has picked up from other people, typically gifts. They're of significant importance, usually of the people who she speaks their fortune of. So in this case, as she's kind of bouncing between, each spirit is guiding her between all these different trinkets. And finally, it'll come on the falcon coin. And that's where she'll see what she sees.
I think you see the figures of several spirits, and they are all peering down at all of the bones and trinkets with you, and they're kind of muttering to themselves about what this could mean. And then you see a young woman kind of raises her ghostly face and peers very carefully at Hadja.
This one. They are different, yes?
And you hear they will fail them. They have failed them. And then they look, kind of stand up straight, nod at their ghostly compatriots, and then they all dissipate.
Okay, and I will sigh for a moment and kind of shift my hair back to cover my eye for a moment, and bend over. You hear the sound of my spine popping a bit as I do so, to pick up the coin. And I'll reach over to Hadja, and I will take your hand, and I will put the coin into your hand and clasp it over it. Funny thing about spirits.
And what's that?
They're like hens. Always yapping, always pecking, always wanting to know everything that goes on. And then when you come over and you ask them a very important question, they never want to tell you anything useful. And in this case, I take it, leave it. It is up to you, but I'm not sure what is going on with your life, what you have done, what you haven't done. And I do not mean to be the bearer of bad news, but you have failed. That is all they
Is that what
say.
they said?
It is. But who knows? It could be
No.
like, maybe you failed a test. Maybe you forgot to feed the cows. A failure is subjective, objective. I don't know. One of those two words. But again, take it with a grain of salt. We all fail.
Perhaps they mean, why don't you take a seat and I can share a story.
I'll sit down.
When I first used the spear in ceremony, it interacted with some of the shadow hiding in people amongst us. We didn't know it at the time. We missed those signs. But we later knew as those people fell when the shadow came. How many of those people do you think survived the shadow?
Probably not many, would be my guess.
One. Remy.
I kind of look over to Remy and look back to you.
I saw her after all the others had fallen, and before then I thought the shadow was a mark of certainty, but Remy taught me that there is no winning or losing. There's won and there's lost. And until someone's lost to the shadow, they're worth fighting for. But I also learned the hard way what it means for someone to be lost. So if the shadows have said I failed, if the spirits have said I failed, they're not wrong. Because I did fail someone. But I won't fail Remy.
I believe you. I don't think you will. Like I said, sometimes the spirits, they say the things that we already know. And honestly, it's infuriating sometimes. But you have a good head on your shoulders. You have led us this far. Couple little mishaps, and I'll kind of reach out for your shoulder and just poke at it. It's a good reminder it's there, and you should remember what you did. But there's still a future left with you. And I'd like to see where it takes us.
I think as you poke Hadia's shoulder, their shirt slips a little, and we see a piece of henna near their collarbone that's usually covered up. And unlike the rest of their tattoos, which is the usual kind of browny earth colors, this one has tones of black in it. And it is at first glance, it looks like just a crescent moon with shadow, just blacking out the night. But then you realize that the shadow making the crescent looks like a mouth eating the moon with a little eye. And above the moon is a raven flying over it.
That is quite beautiful.
Thank you. I'm almost done with it. And as she says that, she takes the shards from the crystal that have been grinded off, mixes it with the henna paint, and starts applying finishing touches to the tattoo.
I think as Hadia's doing that, Rivka will go ahead and start picking up the pieces on the floor of the mess that she made.
While they all have been talking and moving around, I think Remy's been kind of in a little bit of a daze and going through the motions, just readying all of this stuff in camp and getting ready to go. Almost just focused on that versus anything around her right now.
Victoria, I think you're muted. Or no?
No, I just
there we go.
opened my mouth to start talking, but didn't make a sound.
Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off and then say that you were muted. Is it possible for me to also go find Remy to talk to her, unless you wanted to move?
No.
Up to you.
Oh, Remy, if you want to talk to Remy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were talking Rumo. I'm like, no, Rumo's far away.
Yeah, Remy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll walk up. What exactly are you doing right now, Remy?
Remy is probably picking up kind of her stuff from where she had been camped out sleeping. She's kind of folding up any cloth that she laid out and putting away her arrows, counting them, making sure they're good, and kind of getting her stuff situated to go.
Okay. I approach you from the front so you can see me.
You think she would see you, but she doesn't seem to. She kind of just keeps going.
Okay. I wave my hand in front of your face.
She blinks up at you startled almost, like you just appeared, even though you clearly approached
Hmm.
with enough visual. Oh, Tizo, hello.
Hey. And I'm like almost gonna help you pick up your arrows, and then I'm like, I probably shouldn't touch other people's weapons. How, Remy, I have a question.
Yes.
Are you still angry?
Oh, not currently that I can tell. No.
Oh, I see. Maybe Hadja is right.
Right about what?
Uh, about having a fist fight with you.
Oh, yes, that. Yes, Hadia was very helpful in the situation.
I. It. That's all I wanted to know. Good
Oh.
talk.
Okay, okay, Tizo. Well, are you ready to go? We should probably head out shortly.
I'm not ready yet. I will do that now.
Oh, okay, good. If there's
Great.
anything else, just let me know.
Nope. Nothing. Nothing else. And I like leave.
Okay.
Rumo.
That was good.
Tizo's like, job well done. We did it.
I followed up on the thing. Rumo, yes, you are on your second day out on the ramparts. You are in the afternoon shift, seeing what you can see. And so you are on the northwest wall, and you've got a nice view of mountains and like a tiny corner of a road that comes up to Fort Pride. You don't get, from your vantage point, you don't really see because there is a tower kind of in your way, but there are people up on the tower so they can see, so that's okay. But you're just manning some areas over there.
Whoa, Manning.
Yeah, how do you spend your time on watch up on the walls?
At first, I took it very, very seriously and made it my best effort to understand every patch of the land. But then I started to see sheep and other livestock in the mountain peaks, and they were just so interestingly shaped formations. And I don't know, man. I don't. Do I see anybody ever coming through? Is it barren? How much visual stimulation does Rumo get while watching this northwest expanse?
Not huge amounts. Like yesterday it was dull. And it's getting kind of cold up there because you're in the mountains. You're up on the wall. There's a lot of wind.
Cool. More
Kind of
calisthenics.
sucks, actually.
10 squats, then 10 jumping jacks. Then I'll stop and I'll look. And I'll always put my eyes to my face, even if it isn't sunny.
Your eyes to your face or your hand to your eyes?
That would. I don't have prune eyes, so no, not my eyes to my face. My hand to my face to be a visor of importance.
Must shield that glare. I would
Wait.
like a look beyond, please.
Someone's so excited about mechanics. Just around the river bend. I forgot my dice, so I'll roll them right here. Okay, 2d6 is an 8, and looking beyond is with what?
Cunning, I think.
Oh dear. I should have on my sheet some cunning, I think. No, I don't. That's fine. An 8.
Okay, so that is not a hit. Well, it's a hit with mixed success. So you can ask me a question.
I spy with my wee little eyes something in the distance. What is it?
You see banners. You see a flicker of light off of metal. It's far, but it's out there.
I'm sure I took the protocols of very serious training that they totally gave me before the shift. No one just thrust me up here. So if I were to look around and see any sort of alert system, can I ring a bell?
You know what? There is inside the tower, there's a door that leads into the tower, and there is a great big like pulley with a great big bell.
Okay. So like super cartoon style. I'm skittering up those spiral staircase, taking one heave ho and going all the way up to the top. And I just like jump on it with all my body weight and try and pull that bell. And wondering where the guardsmen were for this tower.
There is a ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, and it's big and booming, and you can hear that sound resonate throughout the mountains. In fact, our party of people who are, about 3 to 4 hours away can hear as it echoes and bounces around. It is loud, and upon you ringing that bell, shouts are heard, and this entire fort comes alive as people are running up the walls. People are looking out, and there is Sergeant Norfta comes racing up that tower where you are ringing that bell. Rumo, what is it?
Yes, off in the distance. Do you see the banners? The light is striking the armor. There's people in the distance, I think.
Norfta runs out onto the wall and takes out like a little telescope, one of those that like telescope?
A telescopic telescope.
Monocle. Yeah.
Yes.
That one.
Yeah, that thing. They put it out and they look out there. It's the shadow.
Shit.
It's big. All right, everyone. And Norfta is Captain. And everything just goes into pandemonium. People are racing around. People are putting on their armor. It is go time.
Okay.
You are about to be besieged.
In a couple hours, though, right? They're like off in the distance.
They're off in the distance. You have probably about 2 hours.
That's fine. I can prepare many things in 2 hours.
Yes.
I'll find my friends.
Boiling oil and trebuchets and catapults and all of that wonderful stuff is all brought out, and it's go time. You're here to defend. You're here to put those invaders, if they breach the walls, into those murder holes, because you are going to be raining fire down on them. It is not going to be pretty. Remy, Tizo, Hadya, and Rivka. You are riding along. You are making your way. You are about 4 hours away. And 4 hours is at like top speed. Like it took you full 2 days to get where you were. And it's, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you still got some time. If you hustle, you can make it. You hear that bell. What do you do?
I think as soon as the bell rings, Remy's head like jerks up, and then she looks at Hadia. She goes, "That was the fort. Something's wrong.
I agree.
We need to go."
Tizo, how far out are we?
If we keep at this speed, it's about 4 more hours, give or take.
Will you all be... If we keep up at the speed for 4 hours and arrive to a situation, how will you fare?
I don't think any of us would be at top, like peak condition.
I can get us there. Now. All of us.
How?
But you'll
Can I
have to
scout?
trust me.
Can I just shimmy up this tree first to see what's going on? Before we jump into anything. Corporal, is that all right?
Do it. Rivka, what do you need for your method?
I need a couple moments to myself. This is going to take a considerable amount of energy.
Okay.
But I can get us there.
Rivka, prepare what you need to. Tizo, if this doesn't work, I need a backup route. Remy,
Yes,
keep an eye out in case there's any stragglers from whatever situation that might cross our path.
of course.
Rivka, is there anything I can do to help?
Just watch over. Give me a moment. And I would like to begin spirit walking.
Yeah. But also, I would.
Yeah, but
go
go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say before you do that, Tizo, you're climbing that tree.
Yeah, I want to look beyond.
Okay, yeah.
To see if if it's an outside thing or an inside thing, and like strategically where should we approach from?
Okay.
So on and so forth.
So
Okay.
You're climbing a tree and looking out.
Yeah.
So you're still higher up in the mountains. So you do have a pretty good view. You can even see the fort like out there.
Okay.
But you are like behind the fort.
Okay.
So when you look out, you don't see anyone behind the fort, and just looks like a fort. That's all. Like, you can't really make people in the fort or anything. It's still too far away. But there's nothing behind the fort. What's going on the other side of it? You don't.
Okay. Can I ask you? So I rolled look beyond. And it was, I got a 9 plus 2, 11. So I would like to ask a question then about this. So,
I mean, I was just giving you what you see, and then you want to ask a question based on that. Yeah.
So I'm looking from behind the fort. My question is, does it seem like the conflict is coming from internally or externally?
That's hard to tell. I mean, I guess I have to answer, but I mean, I don't know how you would be able to tell this.
I wonder if this is one of those where it's like this is the kind of thing that I should have known already because it's the kind of bell that would be rung. But
yeah, it's like the warning bell. The like danger.
Of approaching danger as opposed to the warning bell of evacuate.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm seeing from behind, and I don't see anyone from these areas. Like
no, like you don't see a force on this
Mhm.
side of the fort or anything.
Okay.
You don't see a force or anything on this
Right.
side.
So logically, they must be approaching from the one side that I can't see. Right.
Right.
So my follow-up question is, what can how can we support, like, this siege situation? Should we attack or should we lay low?
There's that door.
There is a door. Sweet.
Yeah, there's that door. You think, as you're like looking down at it, and when the light came out and you could kind of peer out that little crack, you think you might know where it is, where it's located.
Perfect. All right, cool. I shimmy back down and report my findings to Hadja. So I tell Hadja they're probably approaching from the front. And I suggest, depending on the situation, on how much of a siege it could be, that we could send someone through that secret tunnel and relay information that way. See what they need.
Perhaps it could, if we make it there in time, it could also serve as a worst case escape route.
Yes.
Good spot.
Okay. Rivka, what do your preparations look like?
I believe I need to sit down. In effect, remove myself from the people around me, around the sounds and the sights and the smell of nature. And just kind of fall into myself for a moment. And essentially, I'm looking to open a door through the spirit world. And as far as the move goes, I can pick two. And the one thing is I can take a few willing souls with you, and the souls would be my companions. And we can reappear in a different place than where we started. That does not give me a role. It just happens.
Yeah, I think it might. You are the fox?
I am the fox. I can pick more options at cost of like a weary, jaded, or harm per option. But probably will not need it right now.
It says you can do it as long as
you
you
just
have the
do
time.
it.
We have
Yeah, if you have
4
time,
hours.
safety, and the chance to retreat into nature, which, I mean, you're not really under. Yeah, you have all those things.
Okay. I think I'd like to waste some time though. Like it will take like maybe like 45 minutes to an hour or so. I may even start snoring because maybe I fell asleep. The spirit world is tricky. But I think I'll snap my head up though and immediately look around to see where everybody is. Everybody, here, now. We must go.
Remy is at your side.
I'll reach out to Khadia, and I'm going to take your hand. Everybody hold on to each other. Whatever it is you do, do not let go. Do not let go of me, Khadia.
I will not.
I do not know what will happen if you fall into the spirit world.
Understood. Tizo, take my other hand.
Oh, okay. I
Remy
take
will-
your hand.
Remy will grab Tizo's hand.
Okay.
My hands are sweaty. I'm not comfortable with this.
It's fine.
And I think with my cane, I'm going to trace an outline to a door. In the middle of the air, there's nothing there. But as soon as I kind of trace and I tap, you hear the sound of a knock. And the area that was outlined now kind of illuminates with this radiant energy. And a door opens up.
What does it look like on the other side of that door?
Ooh, I thought you were going to ask me that. Trying to plan ahead of time. Okay, so this is the spirit world. There is good here, there is bad here. It is a swirl of chaos. There is shadows twisting off in the background. Other more positive energy forms kind of combating them, pushing them off to the side. You might even see a little bit of the shadow kind of creeping in and seeping. And as we kind of start walking through this area, you may even feel a little pull of the shadow calling to you, wanting you to release your anger, release your fears, succumb to all those negative energies. But Rivka firmly grabs, holds to Hadia and just keeps tugging. Occasionally she will look over to the side and kind of smile and wave. Might be a couple familiar spirits here. They schmooze every once in a while. It's fine, it's great. But the fort is under attack. It's very important. There's no time for talk.
I want to know what everyone's spirit selves look like. Remy, I'm going to go with you last.
Cool.
Tizo, what does your spirit self look like? I have a fruit fly in this room and it's driving me bananas.
Hate those.
True. Now I'm like, maybe my spirit form is a fly. Oh, that would be really interesting, actually, if it was. Yeah. Why don't we say that my spirit form is like a fly?
So are you a little fly? Are you a big fly?
I'm a tiny fly.
Tiny little fly.
Yeah, I'm a fly. I am not a tick. That is rude. I just said in the chat that I am a tick.
I know you were the tick.
There is a difference between
There is a
creatures. Thank you.
Okay. So Tizo is a little tiny fly. And Hadia, what is your spirit form?
So, I think Hadia's spirit form is a weird hybrid, where they've got the body of a raven, but with the wings of a falcon.
Rivka, you were waving. Do you keep your own form or do you take on something else?
I have been here many, many times. It is a gift to be able to adjust your spirit as you would like. However, I think because I'm kind of showing off a little bit, I want to be in my truest form. Very Doris Day style. So I am very young. Not as beautiful as other people would like to think, or I would like to think, but beautiful nonetheless. Very long, black, thick hair that is kind of braided and, swung off to one side. Still wearing just clothing from I forgot the name of my people, the Mothas. So the mountain people. Very simple though, nothing too extravagant. But both eyes are intact and just almost a giddy, childlike look to Rivka's face, despite all of the chaos that is around.
Remy, you see those shadows twisting.
So Remy still looks very similar to how she normally looks, but the scars on her face are gone. It's her face before they happened. She looks a little younger, but the way she moves is less 2 legs and more a little bit arachnid. Like there's a few more legs happening. Spider like, if you will. And everything is a lot darker in color. Her clothing, everything is very dark. And the shadows around also seem to kind of grab at her. But it's hard to tell if the shadows are grabbing her, if maybe there are some shadows that are reaching, like coming from her. She's a bit more blended into that than the others are.
Mm-hmm. So how long does this spirit walk take?
Yeah. Who knows? It is very, very like Jeremy Bearimy. You know, it goes here, it goes there. We go back, we go forward. You know, if you keep asking if we're there yet, the answer is always going to be no. But eventually, we will make it there in however long the Mistress of Ceremonies needs us to take.
Why, thank you. So I'm going to say that this kind of spirit walk is going to cut your travel time in half. And it's 2 hours. You're there. Meanwhile, Rumo, you're on, you're helping everything get ready. The sergeants, like various sergeants are going through, they're making sure everyone has like a station. One of the sergeants, you've never really spoken with them before. They point at you, Rumo. Have you ever manned a trebuchet?
Yes.
All right, get up onto the northeast corner.
Excellent. I will gladly. It's where I've wanted to be this whole entire time. If I'm passing by other people, I'm totally like patting them on the shoulder, like giving them a pep talk. Hold your ground. It'll be okay. You've got this. We've got this. And I'm like so excited to go man a trebuchet.
Yeah. So you are on. How many people does it take? I'm going to assume winding a trebuchet is like a lot of work. I'm gonna Google this. How many?
Few people, at least.
It depends upon the scale. Are we going across the field? I feel like if these are plopped up on top of our walls, they're fairly large. Maybe like 2 people seesawing to manhandle the mechanics of winding back the trebuchet.
And then you need people loading.
Correct.
Yeah.
Never forget to light it before we fire it off.
Are you at the throwing things trebuchet? Or
I found a whole bunch of trebuchet designs.
So from your description, Jess, that sounds like 3 or 4 people. Is that right?
Oh! I found a thing. So I think this is going to be like a siege crossbow style trebuchet. And it has a crew. It's a mounted double bow crossbow. It takes 10 people.
Bobos. Got it.
And it has a
Bobo.
range of 350 to 520 meters.
Yes.
That's
So
pretty
far.
good.
It goes
Our
far.
arrows aim true right into the hearts of our target.
Yeah, and like it will go through several people because they're big.
Hit heck.
But yeah, 4 to 7. That is, 10. That is like the middle range. There are other trebuchets. Like there's some Chinese trebuchets that take 250 people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have one of
We're
those.
going across miles. If
Yeah, that one actually only has a range of 78 meters.
redonkulous.
Yeah, but it
Okay.
takes 250 people to man it. It has 7 arms though. Anywho, we just learned about trebuchets today. So, yeah, so you're in a crew of 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have to name all 10 people?
No.
Okay, good. Just random people that you can
No.
yell at.
I'm like, you are all important, but not important enough to know your names in this moment. All we know is a singular enemy, and that is the shadow upon us. So synchronize, wind up this thing, and let's freaking go.
All right. So the approaching army is coming, and it is very big. And you can see in the back there are the towers, the siege towers, and they seem to have their own catapults and such that are like coming, like lumbering very slowly. It looks like they're not quite fully assembled yet. But they're you can see some machinery.
Mhm.
And they seem to have stopped, and they're waiting on something. They're doing something you don't know, but probably just getting ready to, surround you.
Do the thing.
Yeah, do the siege thing. And you start to hear some yelling from the other side. Because it seems that the army has sent a portion to skirt around. And they were not noticed before.
Heck. Just a teeny one, though.
You hear shouts, and you hear the words from the other side, not from your sergeant, but from the other side, fire! And there are, you hear the whip of rope go and things going off, and you hear screams. Battle has begun. How are you feeling, Rumo?
This is almost a step away. While it is a larger scale than I've experienced firsthand, being up here and banning a trebuchet is definitely almost like a filter of removal from the battle scene. So I feel confident being able to lead this crew and direct our shots where we need, because I've seen combat face to face.
Rivka, Hadya, Remy, and Tizo. Rivka, there is a door in front of you.
I will go ahead and with my cane kind of knock on it real quick. And I wait. Do I hear anything?
You hear a tap, tap, tap of your cane hitting it. And there's a bit of like a collective sigh. And the door opens. And you see Battle. Right there, immediately in front of you. Battle.
Okay. To arms, friends. We're
And
stepping.
as you say that, a big giant arrow comes like poof, and you watch as 3 people are impaled. They're very large people, men, but their features are distorted, and there's no, like, you watch as they're skewered, nothing. And in fact, the one at the back still tries to move but can't because the other 2 are dead.
Khadia, what are your orders? Once we step out, we're not coming back.
Hadia goes, do you think you can get us somewhere better, or will this have to do?
This is going to have to do. You know how incredibly hard it is to keep this up. Khadia, make a
Then why do you
choice.
ask me?
You go. Khadia, armed, ready, quiet, stealthy. You pick.
I have no idea where my weapons are right now. So we go out and we adapt. If we're inside the fort, then we see what needs help. If we're outside, we form a defensive position around ourselves and try to make our way back to safety.
That sounds like a fair plan. Let's go. And I will pull Khadia a little abrasively through the door, which changes reaction and pulls everybody else.
And you all come out into the brightness of the afternoon. It is loud. There's the clank, there's screaming. But really, the screaming, though, is coming from up on the walls. It's not coming from the people in front of you.
That's so discerning.
Right?
Can you imagine walking onto a battlefield and the only thing that's making a sound are the people shouting orders, but your enemy's not?
Yeah.
Terrifying.
And like your enemies are firing up at them, and you'll hear the occasional yell when someone on the walls is hit. Yeah, your enemies, nothing. They're just marching.
So are we on the battlefield when we come out?
So you're behind. So you are currently facing that small contingent of soldiers that the army sent to kind of like surround.
Okay, so we're outside the fort. Cool.
Yep.
As soon as we step out and are no longer in like shadow land, Remy will drop Tizo's hand and grab her bow and like string it and get ready. Like
I
she's
fall
knocked
to
an
the
arrow.
ground because I was a fly, and I've been shouting all this time, but no one could hear me. And it just takes me a moment to collect myself.
Yeah.
I think Hadia will extend a hand to you to help you get up. And go, Remy, Rivka, get ready with your weapons to pick off anyone who tries to pick us off.
Oh yeah. And the moment you appear, you target.
Yeah.
You're the only enemy there on the ground in front of them. Tizo, as you are kind of coming, like getting yourself like sorted, you do know where you are in relation to where you think that door might be. You are probably about 75 meters away from where that door is. You would have to, though, fight your way through to get there.
Right. And it would only make sense. I guess I'll say this to the corporal.
It's like in a ravine.
Yeah. Corporal, we can't go to the door right now anyway, so we might as well take out all these people before we get there so that we're not leading everyone to this supposedly secret door.
We don't want them to know this location.
Great. I draw my weapon.
Remy, Rivka, focus on anyone with ranged weapons. Tizo, you and I will hold the line.
Copy.
Hey, so we've got...
Battle moves.
Yeah, we have battle moves.
Final moves. I love game mechanics. Like, role-playing is fun, but mechanics are too.
Hold on to your butts, guys. You've got real strong battles.
Yeah, okay, it's battle time.
Oh, my valor is
The
garbage.
battle music starts.
Oh yeah, my
all,
valor's trash.
Yeah, same.
Cool. Directly engaged.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep on knocking the cord with my knee. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have some battle moves. These are different from the other moves from the rest of this game. So I just, for people who are watching, these are some of the moves that they have. There is perform a maneuver. That is like, opening up an opportunity for your allies. It's setting up something. So you're moving either physically or you're setting the landscape up physically. You're doing something in preparation for your allies to do a thing. Then you have cover someone, which you'll be rolling with training. On a hit, you free them up to make their move. So you're covering them. Cover me, so that they can do the cool thing. Call out a strategy. Roll with cunning. On a hit, everyone listens to you and form up. Directly engage. This is valor. On a hit, you wound whatever you're attacking with your attack. And then there's follow through. So at this point, you'd be rolling with your training. So you're following through someone else's action. So someone has done something or someone has performed a mover to create an opportunity and you want to follow through with that. That's when you'd be rolling with your follow through. And it's training because this is your military training, your ability to see those maneuvers and those setups and go for it. All right. Oh, and Gnome, the list is in our Discord chat. I wrote
Thank
them
you.
up there. You're
Sorry, I think I
welcome.
was setting the stream up and just totally missed that.
It's in there. You might have to scroll up a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
But it's there. It's right underneath the web captioning links. Okay, so there's no initiative in this game. We just go narratively. So you've decided on your plan. You're gonna go and do your thing. There's a good 30 people here. 30 soldiers, shadow. Now, some of them are archers and they are further back and they're shooting up at people on the walls. And then there are some who are going up with ladders to kind of go and, get people up there. And then there's others there's, let's say, a group of 5 of them who spot you. You just arrive out of nowhere. And Tizo just collapses on the ground. You're prime targets. They don't know how you got there. They don't really care. It's time for you to go down. So there are 5. They are coming at you.
Sweet. I get up.
It's a good start. Yes.
Remy will
And-
do cover someone to help let you get situated and kind of get stood back up. So she's going to be covering you guys ahead and launch the first arrow to give you time to settle.
Okay, so you just start shooting with your arrows.
Mm-hmm.
You're
trying
covering.
to keep them back from getting to us right away.
So cover. So give me a training roll with training.
That's a 4.
Oh, yeah. That's
I'm disoriented.
not great. Oh, sorry. I also should have told y'all this. How battle works here is you get 2, there's a track, and you get 2 tracks per person, 2 segments of the track per person. And every time you do a move, that fills 1 track. As soon as we get 4 tracks, 4 moves on this track, the scene changes.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. because there's 5 of you. Okay, so you do your move. You got a 4.
Yeah.
Okay. That means
Remy was more disoriented from stepping out of Spirit Land than she thought.
okay. So you're going to be suffering some harm somehow. But
Okay.
let's have everyone else kind of do a one thing and we'll figure out how that works. Okay, so you're trying to cover fire so that other people can do their thing. Who is gonna try to do a thing?
The corporal will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think, like, not wasting any time, Hedia is going to step forward and meet whoever is the front of this little group that is approaching at us. Trying to use the spear to keep them back from everyone else. I think this is probably directly engage.
Okay. So give me a valor.
All right, that's 8 on the dice, which makes it a 9 total.
Okay, yeah. So 7 to 9 for directly engage. Okay, so on a 7 to 9, it strikes back with all its strength and you suffer harm. So you succeed, you're gonna hit that thing, but you're gonna be hurt. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're injured still.
Question.
Yeah.
Was there something at some point that was mentioned about like spending camaraderie for stuff? Or am I misremembering?
That is once you have filled up a track with someone. Once you have 3, then you can spend it to get an XP.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want everyone to kind of roll, and then we will form this scene based on what these rolls are. So, Rivka, what are you up to?
Probably more going to perform a maneuver to give opening for Hedia, Tizo, or Remy.
Okay. So, well, we'll figure that out after. Roll with luck.
Oh, yeah. That's a 9 roll plus 2, so 11.
Okay. So that is a success. You are very successful at that. That is a good maneuver. So you're going to be outsmarting the shadow on that.
Okay.
So you're definitely opening up an opportunity. Tizo.
I'm going to follow through on what Haja was doing. So I think, yeah, I got their back.
Okay.
Or not. Wait, actually, 4 plus 2 is 6. Just failed.
No, you don't.
JK, I don't.
Okay, so how does this scene work?
Yeah, I think what it looks like is Haja, you are striking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just gonna I was just one step behind you because I was reorienting myself into real human limbs, and as I'm catching up, you get struck from the side, and I'm stepping one way, and then I'm like, oh, but I want to help that way, something like that.
Okay, what kind of maneuver did you beautifully do to set up your friends for Rivka? which they didn't really seem to be able to follow through. But what was it that you were setting up?
Typical battle, right? I think more so I could see the direction that Khadia was going in. And so with my Three Kings Killer bow, which clearly has like +6 to being awesome, I'm just kind of like rapid firing at like knee joint areas, like pretty good precision for a one-eyed fiend.
Oh, you just muted. Oh, now you're back.
Oh, that's very weird. You're basically shooting arrows at beings, creatures, to prevent them from hitting or attacking Khadia and Tizo as well. And make sure that they are safe getting to their destination. I could see that they're running up somewhere, so nothing is hitting them from behind or flanking them off to the sides. They have very clear passage now.
Okay. And so Tizo and Hadja.
So we just realized that there's a move called Need a Hand, and where we can ask the other player. So I want to ask Hadja, Amber, for if I can spend a point of camaraderie with them to bump my miss into a 7. And then so they help me somehow.
Yeah. So I was actually thinking, what if we both spend camaraderie and bump both of us up? So me from a 9 to a 10 and you from a 6 to a 7. Like we're both helping each other out in this moment.
Yeah, you're doing like one of those back-to-back fight things.
Yeah. I like that.
Honestly, I think like, because you said you were just like not really sure which way to strike or move.
Yeah, you can shout at me.
Yeah, I think Hadja will like, because Hadja's using his spear pretty defensively, like not trying anything fancy, just keeping the shadow held away as a sort of form of fighting, so that gives them enough like focus to yell out targets that they're missing.
Okay.
And Remy is,
Remy stepped in front of them, maybe a little farther than she realized she was from the group, to try to give them space and cover. And she's firing, but she's not quite hitting, or they're just not going down as much as she would expect them to. And her focus got to, like, she lost sight of the rest of it and got too pinpointed in her focus, and a different one came up from the side and knocked her. And so she is now in like a one-on-one fight with them.
Okay.
Get her in like the shoulder, and it's rough.
Okay. Thank you for the raiding Cobalt group. Hi. Okay. So we have Remy, who has just been knocked down. So you've got this big old shadow person on top of you. Their hands are reaching towards your throat. The one hand it's gripping you, while this other one is reaching down for like a knife boot. But that is one movement, and we're not quite there yet. However, Hadja, you are back-to-back fighting with Tizo. You turned that 8 into a 9 with your, was that what, or was it a 9 to a 10?
Yes.
9 to a 10, so you don't suffer harm. So that's good. So you're now fighting back-to-back. You're doing great. So you are directly engaging. So you have wounded, I'm going to say you've wounded 2 of the soldiers of the 5 that are on you, that are surrounding the 2 of you, and 2 of them have dropped down. So you are now down to 3, plus there is another one who's on top of Remy, and Rivka's just firing really well and starting to like ping off some of the others. I'm gonna say you, Rivka, you get a couple that are like trying to go up to the walls with a ladder, and then you also maybe get another one that is trying to take down Hadya and Tizo. So now you have 2 on you. So let's go. That is 4 things. So this is mechanically when the scene starts to change. This group of 30, suddenly there is a great big booming drum sound, and this drum sound resonates throughout all of the mountains. You can hear it echoing and bouncing from peak to peak. It's not a sound any of you know, and you wouldn't know from the shadow if it's good or not because they don't show any kind of emotion. But you do see there is one shadow who is bigger than the rest of them. They're in this great big black armor. They've got a great big sword. They look leaderish, and they are further up. They have not come down to engage like the rest of them, and you see them make a motion to a bannerman who starts doing some complicated banner movements that obviously mean something to them. While that happens, there is a bit of a retreat of the engaged shadow, and they start to move away and they disengage from you.
Also, sorry, I'm just kind of real quick to say that when I follow through, I also get to mark a thing, the check box. But because I rolled this, I got a 7. I find myself facing the consequence that they avoided. So I think I do get injured.
Okay, yeah. All right. So you are currently fighting. You're back to back with Hadya. An arrow gets you. And it gets you in the hip.
Ah, okay.
You suffer harm.
Okay.
And if you're to look at the fletching, it looks a little familiar.
Like familiar as in it looks like Remy's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I snap off half of it so that it's not in the way. Actually, I snap it off as close to, the base as possible. I mean, as close to my flesh.
Yep. Ugh.
So when they disengage, so Remy is like in this, like she's like on the ground, the shadow held person is on top of her, like basically has her by the neck and is pinning her. And then the noise, that like drumming happens, right? And they all disengage. I think while she is there, her eyes kind of flicker again. And I would like to use Dark Reflections.
Oh, please tell us all about Dark Reflections.
So Dark Reflections, when you let the shadow in or resist the shadow, you treat a miss as a 7/9 and a 7/9 as a 10+.
Okay.
So I would like to let the shadow in.
Okay.
And you can gain information by letting the shadow in. So on a hit, I can learn something about the situation through a dark vision. So I'm hoping get a 10+. Okay, we'll let the shadow in. Okay, that's just a straight roll. So that's an 8. Okay, so 7/9. So I treat it as a 10+. So the details are clear and distinct.
So you learn something about this
situation.
When you let the shadow in, everything starts to take on this weird floaty. Well, essentially like, in Lord of the Rings when Frodo puts on the ring and everything gets all wonky. That's what things look like. And so all the shadow people look though like solid. Well, all the actual people look all wispy. You kind of get this big bird's eye view, like you're looking at everything, and then suddenly your view goes up from the sky, and you're looking at this big bird's eye view, and you can see the approaching 300 recruits coming up the road, and they are ready. Their banners are going. And they have heard that drum signal, and they start to sound their horns in response. Help is on its way. And you can tell they're probably, 30 minutes or so away.
Okay, perfect. Remy kind of like comes back to herself, and is like sitting up and looks over at you all and makes eye contact with Hadia. The recruits are coming. I think they're about half an hour out, but we need to hold this till they can get here. Do you think we can get to the fort?
So have the shadow all left us at this point, like the ones near us?
They have retreated, and they are up on a rise. So like they're still there, but they're like 100 meters away. They're up there. There's about 30 of them. You can tell they're just kind of waiting for something.
I would like to hobble over, throw the bit of like the arrow that I've snapped off onto the ground, and just deck Remy in the face.
She was staring at Hadia, so she doesn't see it coming, so she just goes flying.
Woo! Is that directly engaging? Are you directly engaging Remy?
Is this? Oh.
I guess.
Well, I would like to see how harmed Remy gets from that.
I mean,
a punch in the face could, if you get them in the temple.
That's a blindsided shot.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
true.
you could
Okay.
I
really
love it.
hurt someone.
Diesel.
Let's see.
Golly.
Directly engage. I'm
You
just trying
said last time you wanted repercussions for your actions.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Wait, is that which move is that? Is that one of the? Sorry, there are too many moves.
That's one of
Oh
the
yeah,
battle
it's one of the
moves.
battle move. Directly engage.
I don't think so, because
Nope.
that's like if I succeed, then we can check off the box, right? And I feel like doesn't make sense.
Well, I would be using it outside of that.
Okay, fair. All right, yeah, sure. That's with valor. Ugh, okay, yeah,
It's fine.
I will roll. Okay. I roll an 8 minus 1 is 7.
Okay.
It's a
So-
number.
Yeah.
That is a number.
Yeah, it is a number. So on a 7 to 9, it strikes back with all its strength and you suffer harm. So
Makes sense. I got hit in the hip, so I don't know if I.
yeah. So you hurt her. Like, that's a blindsided. How do you react, Remy, to that?
I think, like, because so Remy was kind of sitting. She hadn't quite gotten up. So she gets, like, knocked. And she kind of falls over for a second and then looks at Tizo, gets up. And she doesn't, like, hit back so much, but she does kind of shove her a little bit. And it's like, what? Like, because Remy has no idea that you, like, she doesn't realize that what has happened to you with the arrow.
I fall on the ground, and I look up at Hadia.
Mm-hmm.
That's a choice that you made, Corporal.
Tizo, are you yourself right now?
I point at that bit of the arrow.
This is the arrow. When I look at it, it's Remy's fletching.
Yeah.
When
That was on my hip. It is in my hip. Corporal.
Tiso, can you still fight?
Yes, I can.
I think we need to make it to the fort.
I'm gonna say I have a sword. I thrust the sword into the ground and just like push myself up. And I walk off.
Rumo, you've been off on a wall on the opposite side of this battle. You see this army in front of you. It's waiting. You hear those great big drums. And then you hear horns. Those are friendly horns. Those are signals. They're bursting out signals. Help is on the way.
Okay. In the time being, I know my tower heard shouts and noise of the small party that had split off of the shadow trying to surround us. If there was nothing I could do with that situation, I would have put all of my efforts towards trying to fire at the enemy catapults and trebuchets that were being prepped.
Sorry, I'm just seeing because we only have 5 minutes and I want to see if there's a stream after us. Okay. So otherwise, we might have to see if we can do a one-shot later to finish this up.
Fair.
Okay, so hi Lauren.
Yay!
So you're trying to see what else is going on?
Correct. So you last left our scene as Rumo could notice the other side of the towers scrambling to deal with the amoeba ambush.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if there's nothing my little subsection can do, I will pour all my efforts into knocking out the trebuchets, hopefully before they are fully mechanized.
Yeah, assembled. Okay, so you start firing off into that army that's waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that will be a direct engage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's roll for that.
Yeah, I mean, this is my moment. Valor is me. I am Valor. And let the dice be true. 8 + 2 is a 10.
Ooh, that's true. That's a true.
Hell yeah.
So what does that look like? Tell me.
In this fantasy trebuchet crossbow mechanics, we're totally winding up and tightening the crossbow. And I take out my curved sword, and every fire I get the moment to release the rope. I won't do a backflip this time.
Cutting the rope every time. So like
Hell
the
yeah.
rope gets shorter and shorter as you go. It gets harder to wind up every time.
It's fine. Makes it more powerful. Strengthens my team.
Okay. So yeah, you start taking those things down. And you're wreaking havoc in that army. The thing is, the army doesn't respond. There's nothing. You see the havoc. You see people being like tossed aside. Nothing. All you hear is the thump of you hitting that rope, the thump of the release, and you and your comrades breathing.
Do not fear the silent army. They are lost, and we must never give in to the shadow. Keep hold to the brightest memories you have, and we will find that light once again. I don't care how silent the battlefield is. We must persevere.
That's a move, is not?
It could be.
I believe that's a lion move, a lioness move.
Yeah. It's there. It exists. I don't know if I took it because I wasn't sure if I could do it. So, like, inspirational mechanically didn't do much. So I can kind of swap it out and pretend I always had passionate orator. When you speak boldly before a crowd of people, roll with luck. On a hit, they listen, and don't interrupt, and consider your words carefully. On a 10+, you convince them to believe a truth you put forward. On a miss, the crowd turns ugly before you finish.
Okay, well, give me a roll. Let's
roll well, please. Good gosh.
Oh, hail, yes. A 10+1.
You had me scared at first when you said hell. I was like, oh no. Well, Rumo, it was nice knowing you. Okay. Yeah, so at first, like, your comrades, when that trebuchet goes off and it hits and they see, like, you just destroyed one of their catapults. You can see, like, it tumble over and you see people fall. They went to rejoice, but when there was, like, nothing coming from this army, that's unsettling. And that you started to see them step back away, just like, oh, like, this doesn't even faze them, this doesn't do anything. And you say your words and they're like, okay, yes, we will survive, we will do this thing. And they get back into it, they start setting that trebuchet back up, and they're winding away. Rivka, Hadia, Remy, and Tizo, you are making your way to the door?
As we go, I'm going to go, Remy, watch our backs. And then I pass Rivka and go, Rivka, watch Remy. And then I walk up to Tizo, who's, I think, stalked ahead a little because they are the one who knows the way to the door. Or she's the one.
But I'm making very slow progress because I was hit in the hip. And I'm actually in excruciating pain, and it's only my anger that's driving me on.
Yeah. So I think I, like, walk up and, if you're cool with it, like, force your hand over my shoulder to help support you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're hustling over. Remy, what are you doing?
Remy has regrouped. She is watching their backs, like Hadia says, but she's definitely farther away. Like, she's letting them get a lot farther forward before she retreats any.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're covering them essentially, so that they can go make their thing. Because as you start to move again, that is when the leader on that ridge kind of looks down at you and does this little motion, and 3 archers step forward. And they go to start shooting. So I would like you to give me this would be definitely a cover, someone.
That's training. That's a 5.
Okay, so
my dice don't like me.
Yeah.
Remy sees this and she calls at them. She's like, get to cover. Go as fast as you can. They're about to fire. I'll cover you. And then she's going to walk farther away from them to try and divert attention.
Hadja, Tizo, Rivka, what are you doing as Remy calls us out?
I have Tiza with me, so I can't turn back. So I turn to Rivka and go, Rivka, keep an eye out with your bow, but start heading our way as fast as you can.
I guess hearing Remy say what she said, that is probably in Rivka's experience not a positive sign of words. And with her own bow notched and ready to go, she'll shot back over at Remy. Remy! Sorry if that's loud. It was loud in my ears. Do not be foolish. Come with us. You cannot take all of them alone.
I know, but you won't make it without me. And she'll take a few more steps out.
One arrow hits. Where does it hit?
So she's drawn, pulling back on her bad shoulder already, and it's going to hit her in the hip as well.
Okay, so you get this arrow, it embeds in your hip. That wound in your shoulder, it's bleeding. It hurts, like from that force of constantly pulling back. So that wound is still hurting you.
Oh yeah, she's fighting pain.
A second arrow hits.
This one hits on her torso. Not quite ribs, but not quite stomach, so like mid-torso. It's definitely going to hit an organ. There's no protecting that.
So that's like a critical harm. Give me another cover someone roll.
That's a 5. That's literally what I'm rolling.
So you're shooting, but it's not very well. And I think a lot of this is your shoulder is being ripped to shreds from your constant use of it. You have been hit in, let's say, your lung. So you are breathing is difficult. You can start to feel the blood in your lungs. It's thick. It's hard to breathe. And you're asthmatic. You know
I am.
how that is.
Oh yeah. That's a rough feeling.
Yeah. So you've got that. You've got your hip sucks. Like it's hard for you to walk. And that affects your shooting, and your arrows just you can't get that strength behind pulling the bow, and they're not getting as far as they need to go. A third arrow hits.
I think this one is the arrow that does. Like, she's already weak. They can tell she's not much of a threat anymore. So it's gonna be a throat shot.
What happens?
Remy is slowly taking a step forward and taking a step forward. And her arm isn't pulling back as far as it needs to anymore. And her other arm is starting to get heavy from trying to keep going. She starts coughing. There's this little bit of blood. And she takes that last step, tries to take as deep a breath as she can, and pull that last arrow back, because she can tell there's not a lot is left.
Give me a directly engage.
Yeah.
For this.
Oh, come on, dice. Give me a last good arrow. It's a 4.
Okay, yeah.
And she as she lets go, the arrow, it just does a sad little nosedive. She gets struck as she's releasing. And just to her knees. And then just crumples to the side.
Rivka, you see that. Because it happens as you're yelling.
I kind of take a step backwards towards Khadia and Tiso. And I think as that first arrow strikes, maybe I can't quite see what happens, but I'm kind of watching Remy's own arrows fire, and they're just poorly shot, poorly aimed. And I take another step back, and another, and I close my eyes and turn around and start to head to Khadia and Tiso.
And yeah.
Wow. This is the first time I've had a PC die under my watch, eh?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. But it's
Welcome.
like, first time. Yeah. Green. We're good. Is everyone good? All right, cool. So you make it to the door. It's this great big metal door. It's got moss all over it, but there seems to be like this little break around the edge, and when you look down on the ground, there's like, it's been pushed open just by like this much recently.
So, I think.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Hadia lets Tizo rest because I don't think Tizo's in position to be opening unopenable doors right now.
I lean against the wall.
Yeah, I think Hadia will start pulling, and once Rivka gets close, motion to her to give them a hand.
God. What do I look like? A child?
I thought you said you were feeling spry this morning.
Now go ahead and begin to assist you with this.
Okay, you start to pull this thing open, and it's kind of moving, but not really. And the reason why it's not is because there's a big old rock in front of it, and that is what was keeping it closed before when you were in that passageway. But you're able to move the rock. Like, it takes muscle, but you're able to do it.
Mostly Khadia's muscle. Let's be honest. I'm not doing much.
And yeah, you do get that door open, and you see a very dark tunnel.
I'm gonna help Tizo in through the door and hand Tizo off to Rivka.
Well, I'll go ahead and take Tizo, yeah.
I'm gonna close the door behind us.
I think as you're doing that, have not said a word about Remy. But Tizo, the sword you are holding, I kind of like push you up against the wall for a moment, and I take it from you, and I give you mine. These belong to your people, the Morsh. Long ago when we were friends, the Motoras and the Morsh. You're gonna need it for this one. And I'll help you back up and keep moving down the darkness.
I mean the sword. I'm okay. I look unseeingly, because it's completely dark, at the sword in my hand, and I'm like, you don't have to talk like you're gonna die. And then I also kind of make my way after you.
The sword is a cane.
I use it as a cane.
This is a cane sword.
And yeah, so you start to walk. It goes upwards, just like it went downwards when you went down this tunnel originally, Tizo and Hadja. It goes upwards until well, you're at a door or something, because there's nothing there anymore. You can't move forward. And you're able to find that ring. Or actually, no, there's no ring here.
Yeah, the ring was for the outer door, right?
Yeah. So
This
now
was the
you're
secret door.
This is the secret door.
With the
The lock on
Oh,
the other side.
it was with the brick that was sticking out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
on the other side.
Yep.
Now you're in the
Uh,
dark at a wall.
I used the cane to try to find the secret button.
Does no one
Tapping
like
around.
carry a torch? Or
I was gonna.
anything
Can
in
I
their
like
pack?
have like a match? Like I probably smoke tobacco occasionally or something. Yes, I'm gonna light a match.
Okay.
You can see, and so you start poking around.
Does this help, Tizo?
Yeah, it's great. Please light like 6 more.
Yeah, and through a process of elimination, and knowing where that brick was on the other side, you're able to find it pretty quickly. It's at the bottom again. It's the same brick, it's just on the other side. And the door swings on that center hinge, and you see you see some wounded people lying on stretchers in that little alley, like that little hallway walk area that was before empty. And one of them like kind of turns their head. They've got like bandages on them. They're like at you. Very strange.
Hey, how's it going? And I hobble through.
A medic sees you being injured, sees you coming through the what?
Secret door, We're not shadow taken.
You need being seen to. Please, quick.
We're in the middle of battle. It's
No,
fine.
we're not. Because Rumo, as you're firing into that army turns about and starts to march away. And you can hear horns now quite close as your reinforcements arrive.
That's freaking right. You run away. You were scared all along. You just don't have emotions, but you were scared deep down. Question.
Yes.
Is there any way that Rumo can see
Yes,
what happened?
I was going to say. You see your friends emerge into the courtyard. Minus
not-
one.
but not all of them.
Yeah.
Oh. At first, sheer joy just to see their familiar faces. And then as I take count, I'm missing someone that I've grown fond of.
And how do you feel when you initially see only 3?
Oh, who's behind? Wait, Tizo is in the hallway? Who's in the courtyard? I'm confused.
Oh, you have Tizo, Hadja, and Rivka in the courtyard.
I can count. I'm counting you on screen. You're not you're a figment of my imagination. Right. I feel like I can't breathe. I knew the reality of what the shadow would do, I just kept myself at a distance and thought, not my people, not my troop. And I look at the folks manning the trebuchet and seeing the retreat. I step away and I start running towards the courtyard.
Tizo, Hadia, Rivka, you see Ruma running towards you.
I see that Tizo is being tended to, so I'm not gonna like run, but I'm going to fast walk towards Ruma to check on them. And I think what is their reaction when they run into, like when Ruma runs into Hadia?
If I see you rushing towards me, I'm full sprinting, so I'm gonna do my best not to run into you out of respect. But
Is there
no guarantees.
Is it like, do you like awkwardly try to stop and like crash into me in like an awkward hug maybe?
Probably, absolutely. I'm game if you're game. I'm like, it's over. You're here. Thank goodness. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, Corporal. I didn't know there was a mission. I've been trying my best here at the fort.
It's okay. We're back.
Not, but where?
Most of us are back.
Remy?
Remy's why we're back.
Shadow. She let go to the shadow, didn't she?
She fought them till the final breath.
Oh. Okay. That's good. She's being tended to, right?
I don't think Hadia has anything to say to that.
Okay. That's...
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's... I know how hard it can be.
I always thought she'd lose her way, so to hear that she saved you all is good. It's good. It'll be okay.
We'll get
We
through.
fight another day. You're right. I look over your shoulder if I see Rivka. It's fine, guys. Just another day on stream. What's Rivka doing?
Rivka is, as Hadia probably runs up to Rumo, Rivka will kind of stay midway point, keeping an eye on Tiso, making sure that she is accepting at least some of the help for a while. But Tiso, how are you like reacting? How long are you going to let the medics try to take care of you?
Oh, actually, immediately after they say that, no, the battle is over, I fall because I like one more injury and I would be dead. So I think I just fall, and I hopefully like the medic like catches me.
Yeah, like they were waiting for it. Like
pretty much.
And they were just like, yeah, and they bring you off to a cot, and they're gonna get that weird little spoon thing, that scoops in for an arrow wound to pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna do that.
Yeah, I start shaking. I think I go into shock.
Yeah, they're like holding you
traveling
down
on an open
and
wound, blood
You're, like,
loss.
biting down
Yeah.
on a piece of leather. Yeah. Doing
Yeah.
that whole thing. And we are going to run into the next stream if we continue. So, wow,
So we'll
we
just
have a
play
lot
next
to
week?
unpack. I think there's another stream, maybe at this time frame, starting up. So we have a lot to unpack afterwards. And that ends Not This Tide. And I think we're going to end with a aerial shot as we see Tizo being worked on. Tizo's going into shock. We have Rumo crying with collapsed in Hadja's arms with Rivka, watching on. And as this camera pans up, you see the flurry of activity as people are excited because they've at least bought another day with these new recruits coming in. And then as it goes up, we see Remy laying on the ground. And then we're in the clouds. And it's the end. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And please stay tuned for the next stream, which will be in 5 minutes.
Real.
Thank you, everyone.